Dr. Sharon L. Burton, author, speaker, learning and human capital professional. But who are you? Just tell me a little bit about yourself and your newest book, Transitioning to I Can from I Can't. But let's start off. Who are you? Just talk about yourself.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here today. Again, I'm Sharon L. Burton. I sit in the learning realm and compliance realm. My major title is Chief Learning and Compliance Officer. To get to that point, took education, certifications, numerous points of knowledge, skills, ability that led to capability. I hold a MBA in Human Resource Management, a MBA in Management. Uh, After that time, I earned several certifications as I built my capabilities through the knowledge and skills. Those certifications sit in the areas of human capital strategies, strategic workforce planning, Kirkpatrick 4 levels evaluation, and I recently earned a certification as a Lean Six Sigma black belt. I hold a doctorate in business administration as well. So that is the education that led to it. Over 25 years, I have developed learning. I have delivered learning. All of the development has been in the areas of manuals, modules, on the job training aids, working with people to hone their skills, and recently the development of books, which is what we're here discussing. My recent book, Transitioning to I Can from I Can't.
Dr. Burton, let's talk about this book, Transitioning to I Can from I Can. I even like how the label of the book, you have the big can minimizing the can't. Why did you do it like that?
Transitioning to I Can from I Can't has to accentuate the positives. This book sets in mentoring and coaching as well as change management. It is about helping people to develop that thing that they need to develop, whether it is for themselves or for their organization. It's about accentuating the positives. It's about growth and development to be that individual that they want and desire to be.
Why do we need a book like this? The world is transitioning so much, corporate America, the newspaper industry, society. But for yourself, why did you feel compelled to focus on the I can versus I can?
While working through corporate America, working in consulting positions, one of the things I noticed in the education world is many times individuals wanted to grow, they wanted to develop. They would come to me and say, I want to do this, but I don't know how to do this. And after hearing this over 50 to 100 times, I said, I believe it is time to write this book. And I say 50 to 100 times, but I heard this year after year after year. This asking me how to do it compelled me to write the pages of this book, which would explain how to do it, but also give examples of individuals who had gone through transition to get to that change, that state, that which they desired. There are 10 testaments in this book about change, which happened through transition.
In the book you break down these I call them change elements, awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, reinforcement. Make that real to me. I mean, for example, awareness. What are you talking about?
When an individual is working to change, there's a transition that they have to go to. In order to transition, the first thing you have to do, you have to become aware, one, that a transition is needed. Once you recognize that it is needed, you then have to understand those things that are needed that need to be understood before you can even begin the transition.
You're being polite, but let's break it down. For example, I know so many of my friends say, I got a degree, I'm working hard, I'm moving up corporate ladder. All of a sudden, oh my goodness, they're downsizing. I got a pink slip. They're giving me a buyout. That awareness sometimes comes it comes as a shock sometimes. Are you talking about that?
Well, that is just a part of the awareness. Awareness means that you have to be aware at all times. For example, you gave the example of people working and then getting a pink slip. Awareness means that the minute you walk in the door, you need to understand the culture, what is happening. Year by year, you need to understand what the change is. Understanding what the change is means that you become aware of who you are, where you fit, and what it is that you need to know. And that is a key piece.
But it's interesting, you go from desire. We all desire to make good money. We desire to be effective on our jobs. But knowing what it takes in these companies is different than desire. Talk about what you've learned in your research about knowing how to survive or to thrive in companies.
Again, it's about staying atop of what is happening in the organization. It's not about showing up, it's about being a part of it. Listening, participating, studying. Is as your organization change, as the world change, the individual needs to know, is my education relevant this year? As the next year change, you ask yourself, is my education relevant? Then you work to add on those needed certifications or courses so that you stay on top of what it is you need so that your desire to stay in that position continues to grow.
I get it. Does that go into the heart of ability? You talk about the ability, having the ability.
Yes. So once you understand what you need to do, you work through what your desires are. It's about understanding what are the courses, what are the certifications, what are the course. Those things drive knowledge, skill, and ability, which lead to capability. And your capability is what allows you to either stay at that company or move up the ladder or get to a different company.
Does that lead to the last component, reinforcement? Because you may be reinforced or supported that, hey, sister girl, it's time to move on. Or, hey, you know what? I think we see a new person here, new Sharon, or whatever. But just how does that work with all of us have a different reality? So
Okay,
bring it on home to me.
So individual reinforcement in the world of change management is, how do you make it stick? So once you go through the understanding of awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, reinforcement, all of those things tie together. That knowledge building, that ability, that skill development, which leads to capability, is key. For the individual, that allows the sticking of the information and the skill. For the company, that enhanced individual now makes the company stronger so that the change that company wants to make can be made because the individuals have increased their knowledge, skill, capability to understand what the work is that was needed. In order to stick, you have to understand that thing that is required.
Clearly you understand it. Dr. Sharon L. Burton, I know you have a lot to say, and I'm excited about learning more. So when you think about your experience, when did this awareness come about, just who you were and the environment that you were in?
Well, I'm going to speak to my initial awareness and then I'm going to go to how I honed it. My very first position was actually in retail. It was at an organization called Eckert Drugs. I was a member of this organization called DECA, Distributed Education Cooperative Clubs of America. Through the work assignment that I had, I learned quality, all numerous points about quality and what it means to understand what quality control was, or what performance meant. From there, I went to college and I honed those skills in a human resource position. Through that position, I further honed quality understanding, but I gained more knowledge in terms of learning and development and what performance was all about. And I learned that was my wheelhouse. And from there, I worked to advance my skills.
Was it hard for you? I mean, you growing up, I mean, who pushed you, or you had to learn to push yourself?
No, I would not say that it was hard, but I had a grandmother who had numerous sayings. And when growing up, I would say, "Oh, this is difficult." One of her quotes was, "If the ox is in the ditch, get him out." That means do whatever it is that you need to do to make things happen. That is one of my mantras today. So that when I may, when others may say it's hard, I recognize it's time to develop a time and action plan, write it down, and execute the plan.
And you have been executing for a long time.